Welcome back to Coaching Clinic. We've had a month off and now September 6th, we're back to being available to support and heal and clear and meditate and coach together. So today's session is really important regardless of what you're up against. This session is feel your feelings. So whether you're in a relationship with someone where you just want to keep the peace so that you'll be okay, maybe they're moody, maybe they're angry and they seem fine with their feeling, but for you it's very uncomfortable when someone else is displaying those sort of feelings. This is going to help you today. Maybe you're anxious. Maybe the feeling you're in is often anxious. Anxious about money is a big one for my clients. Anxious about their body, their image, anxious about age. Again, as we explore on today's session, feeling your feeling, your anxiety is subject to change. I'm not saying to go away. I'm saying your experience of any uncomfortable feeling is subject to change as you begin to see this more deeply. We're going to start with a meditation and really anchor you in here to the clinic and really support you in honoring your feelings rather than trying to dismiss them or run away from them or numb them. So we're going to start with that. And I'd also like to say that all feelings are love in disguise. I first heard that when I was mentoring with Dr. Dicken Bettinger. And I thought it was radical, that all feelings are love in disguise. And so I'm going to share a little bit about that after our meditation, what I see about that. And I'm going to open up then to your questions. If we find there aren't a lot, that's okay. Sometimes just being in this space to gain a quieter mind and experience a deeper silence is in itself healing enough. But we'll start like this. We'll start with our meditation. So join with me as you close your eyes, switching off anything that could disturb you at this time, and just letting yourself be here now. And I want you to take some deep breaths. I like to do my breathing by placing my hands on my tummy and breathing in, 2, 3, 4, feeling the tummy rising up and out, 2, 3, 4, feeling the tummy coming back into itself. So just keep that breath moving for the moment. In, 2, 3, 4, tummy rises up and out, 2, 3, 4, tummy comes back into center. Really breathe into your tummy, taking this really lightly. In, 2, 3, 4, and out, 2, 3, 4, anchoring you into the present moment as we engage this meditation on feeling your feelings. A radical idea in itself. In, 2, 3, 4, and out, 2, 3, 4. Our breath is such a beautiful built-in system designed to calm us down, designed to slow the mind down. And how often we forget to use it effectively. In, 2, 3, 4. And out, 2, 3, 4. If you're holding tension, as many women do, in their lower back area and in the tummy area, just really breathe into the tension. And as you breathe out, feel your body sinking down into the chair. Doesn't matter how you look, and if you're not sitting up straight, forget everything you learned at dance class. Forget every criticism your mother gave you about standing up straight and tall and properly. Just sink into your body. Feel that tension release. In, 2, 3, 4. And out. 2, 3, 4. Another word, or rather the translation of breath and spirit, are intertwined. And I didn't know that until very recently, that spirit translated is breath. How wonderful to have the spirit within us and the tool within us to help us come home. Now I want you to imagine, with your eyes closed, roots coming from your feet down through the ground, down into the underground, right down to a rock at the bottom of the earth, and wrap those roots around that rock. Golden light emanates from this rock, making its way up through the rock, up through the ground, up into the underground, up into the floorboards beneath you, or the ground beneath you, and up into your feet. And I want you to use your intention now to move that golden light all the way up through the body in your own time, through the feet, the ankles, the shins. Don't miss any part of your body. Intent now, and watch the light moving up through you, and keep going until the light is emanating from your head. Anywhere there's tension, you can add extra light. You just see your body covered now in this elixir of golden healing light. This is the light of your true nature. This is the light of deep divine healing. This is the light of wisdom. Just notice how you're feeling. And I want you to just take your hands, not physically, but actually mentally, see yourself with your hands in a little sort of cup-like state, almost like we're receiving the body of Christ. But in this little cup-like state, I want you to acknowledge a feeling you've been avoiding, worried about, scared to feel, trying to run away from, hiding from. Might be the first image or word that pops into your mind, but pop the word, the feeling into that little cupped hand. Don't overthink it. What feeling bothers you? And I want you to see yourself now taking your cupped hands and placing them on your heart with that feeling. So that feeling is touching your heart now. And I want you to breathe into that feeling. Feel for a moment and see and experience that this feeling is on your side, that this feeling is your friend, that this feeling is love in disguise, that this feeling that you've been trying to work on, get rid of, run from, avoid, not be with, intellectualize, therapize, shop away, drink away, eat away, is letting you know about your state of mind. This feeling is a friend showing up, wanting your acknowledgement and attention, not to scare you, not to dupe you into something else, not to make yourself right or wrong. It's just helpful information about how you are using your mind. So holding the feeling in your heart now, just breathe gently. You can take your hands away from your heart, or whether you're visualizing it or doing it physically, just place them on the thighs. And I want you just to thank the feeling for showing up in all its glory. And let it know that next time it occurs and appears and is trying to get your attention, that you'll acknowledge it instead of resist it. It is only our resistance to the feeling we're in that causes our suffering. The feeling itself will just pass through, do its job, give us information about where we are with our state of mind, and then be on its way. It is only our resistance to it. Oh, I shouldn't feel this way. Oh, this isn't very positive. Oh, I've done all this work. I should know better. Oh, I don't like this. Get it away. It is only our resistance to the feeling that is causing our suffering. Take some more breaths as you acknowledge this truth. In through your nose and out. In through your nose and out. See those roots coming from the feet, down through the ground, down into the underground, right down to the bottom of the earth, and wrap those roots around that rock. Feel yourself completely supported, grounded, present. When you feel ready, just open your eyes. Switch your camera on if you're open to it. Bring yourself into the clinic, into the now. If you want to, you can move your fingers, you can move your toes, you can take a drink of water, whatever you need to do. Feel the quiet that you've stepped into. When we feel uncomfortable, often we want to figure something out, fix it, get a solution to it, make it better. But in our attempt to fix our feeling, we miss out on the wisdom of that feeling, what it's wanting to show us, what it's wanting to teach us, because we innocently believe what we're making up about the feeling. I remember in the early stages after Francesco, my partner, suddenly died, I would think about finding him dead, and I would get this terrible feeling of anxiousness in the center of my tummy. And I forgot, even with everything I've learned and everything I know about how the mind works, I forgot that that feeling was indicative of how I was using my thinking about his death. And so I kept resisting the feeling initially. And I got scared of the feeling and I sped up a lot. And then thankfully, through a conversation with my mentor, as I was explaining what was happening, I was reminded that the feeling of anxiousness meant nothing about Francesco's death, and everything about how I was using my mind about how he died. I was making up a lot, as you would imagine, about not being there, about what it must have been like, about him being alone. I was coming to conclusions in my mind that weren't necessarily truthful conclusions, but that were scaring the life out of me to the point my body was responding in kind with a feeling that was trying to let me know this isn't helpful right now. And as I just felt the feeling of anxiety for the first time, rather than resisted it, it began to dissipate. I haven't felt that feeling ever since. It's rare that the feeling of anxiousness goes away about something. It's usually that we get a fresh experience of it, a less scary experience of it. But using the breath, similar to what I've started with today, to feel the feeling of anxiousness rather than resist it, and to know that it was my friend on my side letting me know about my mind, not about how Francesco died. Now that feeling doesn't even occur. That's how well made you are, that you have this built-in system designed to let you know when you're going off track with your mind, when you're lying to yourself with your mind. Yeah, Pamela, thanks for your comment. Yeah. There's no grief without relief. You can be relieved of that suffering, Pamela. That's lovely.
Thank you, Grace. It's weird because my father was so critical of me that I was like suicidal after I would speak to him because he would get right to my soul. And now that he's gone, I feel almost joyful that I don't have to suffer his insults and his pain.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
I feel a little guilty about it, but I honestly feel like I'm not at his mercy anymore.
And he's living in a whole new level of alignment where there's only love and it's flowing towards you too.
Thank you, Grace.
You're welcome. Who has a question or a comment or anything that they want some support on, or anything that they want to share? Remember that your sharing helps everybody. So there's nothing to, oh, I can't say that, or oh, that's not helpful or important. Somebody could be listening to this recording a couple of months from now, and something that you have said or asked or shared hits them as a positive insight that changes their world. So please never feel that, well, there's just no question or no comment that's not good enough. They're always great. Or anything that you want to hear me talk a bit more about. You can comment in the box if it's easier. Amy.
Hi, yeah. I guess I was just sitting in some curiosity about or wondering what you think or what other people think of why certain feeling states just feel that much more. They come with like, that much more heavy thinking. I guess it depends on our own life experiences and who we are. Like for me, there's certain things in my life and certain feelings that arise that I just continually, identify. I am identifying with the feeling and letting it get, getting caught up in it and getting caught up in all the thinking. And it's just like, it's perpetual. And I even like recognizing it, even knowing what I know now from working with you and sitting on these calls, it's just still curious to me that there are certain things, like for me, it's money is one piece of it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just curious what your thoughts are on that.
I think just because we know how the mind works doesn't mean we're no longer in the human experience. We're gonna get caught. Our feelings are going to be very compelling. And anxiousness is probably one of the most compelling ones because it feels so awful. But it's not informing you about money. It's only ever informing you that the way you're thinking about money isn't helpful right now. To the degree you see that deeply, which is why you keep showing up, Amy, and you keep asking the question because you want to see it deeply, and you are starting to see it on such a, you have been seeing it on a whole other level. To the degree you see that deeply, you just, being anxious about money just won't be so compelling anymore. It's a flavor of thought.
It has lost its grip. I will say that it has lost its iron grip. It's still compelling in some ways, but I recognize it more often now.
How do you know it's lost its grip compared to before?
There are certain like actions that I'm taking now around it that I would avoid or just shut in the closet before. I'm talking about it more honestly, I think, with myself and my partner. And when I'm in coaching calls, I'm more maybe honest about what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just more I think I'm just more curious about it. I think that's one really valuable benefit of looking at it this way. Yeah, I just am sitting in more curiosity instead of letting the anxiety take over and paralyze me.
And that's great. Like, that's such a good indicator that you're less afraid of your feeling. Because when we're not afraid of our feeling, we get curious. We move away from avoidance and numbing and running from, and we can open up to a curiosity for a solution to something or a new way of doing something. So that the level of curiosity is such a good indicator indeed, that however scary the money thing looks to you, it's less scary than it was before. And even if you've just moved an inch on that, that alone can change your world. What I would say is honor that much change rather than get focused on, hang on a minute, I'm still getting compelled by this at times. Oh, this still catches up with me at times. No. Honor the iron grip leaving. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, thank you.
From a place of curiosity, we will always hear our wisdom. We will always know what to do with regards to financial situation. From a place of curiosity, we will always be alert and awake to a solution. We hear our wisdom. From a place of running and numbing and fearing and trying to get away from the feeling and being in resistance, we're shut down to possibilities. Doesn't mean the possibilities for solutions aren't there. Just means our bandwidth is just way lower. And you know what it's like when your internet goes down, ladies. There's not much connection. Same with divine mind. You're scaring yourself, your bandwidth goes down, not much connection to solutions, ideas, curiosity, and divine mind help. Great question, Yumi. Thank you. Maria, how do I deal with physical symptoms? Getting really nervous, having shakes. Yeah. My biggest fear is people noticing. It's so embarrassing. I'm doing the breathing exercises, hoping no one doesn't notice me. Yeah. So I'd love you just, Maria, to not resist the physical symptoms. I have this sense or this image of you resisting it, and of right, understandably so, when you think that it's embarrassing. One of the things that I've learned since we all last had coaching clinic is that when we go through a trauma, such as a sudden loss, such as a car accident, such as, well, there's a whole list of traumas, really. One of the ways that the body moves the trauma out of the system is through trembling. It's through this tremble and this shaking. It's a very helpful physiological response on your side to help you begin to clear what's just happened. I would invite you, Maria, to move your attention away from this is embarrassing to this is brilliant. My body's doing what it needs to do to clear my fear and stress and trauma. Physical symptoms, like feelings, are our friends. And if we're not resisting them, they're doing a great job at helping us, even healing us. Shaking and trembling are your body's way of being able to start to let go. So as best you can, try to just be less concerned about how it looks to people or to you, and be more in awe at how divinely designed you are, that the body knows exactly what to do to let the trauma, the stress, the fears pass through. Does that speak to you at all, Maria? You feel free to write back in. Any feeling we get, but for our resistance to it, we would just let it do its thing and move on through. Your feelings are your friends. Your physical symptoms are your friends. Your body's on your side. And just as we wouldn't judge getting hungry or thirsty or tired, we don't need to judge getting anxious or stressed or trembling. Okay, Maria, yeah. Rather than even try and change your mindset, I want you just to try and feel the tremble the next time you get it. Feel the shake. Rather than judge it, feel the shake. It's almost like trying to hold balls underwater when we're worried about what people might think if we are seen in our vulnerability. Trying to keep those balls underwater is effortful and heavy and not helpful to our system. But as we just feel the feeling, not trying to be superwoman, not trying to hold all the balls under the water, just being in our feeling. Some people will judge and some people will have compassion and some people will be kind about it and some people will be worried about it based on their state of mind in the moment, of which we have no control. So don't try and suppress what the body needs to do. Don't try and hold the balls under the water so people get a different version of you, one that they might like better. No, 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 no. Forget that. That's all too effortful. Plus, that adds even more resistance, creating more stress, and the body needing to shake even more. It's all built in beautifully. It's doing its job. It's on your side. No need to change the mindset, ladies. Just feel the feeling as it arises. Anyone else have a question today? Comment? Something I can help you with? Something you want to hear more about?
Grace,
Yes,
it's
Pam.
Pam.
Hi.
I feel incredibly guilty about what I admitted today about my father, about being happy he's gone. Because it's just so, I'm not happy. I mean, but it's weird. I don't have to suffer anymore as much. And this is the first time I've admitted that to anyone. So I feel a little strange about it.
Can
I'm
you
not
just,
happy he's gone, but I'm happy the suffering has stopped.
that's what I heard. I don't know what you heard or made up about what you said, but that's what I heard.
Okay, thank you.
And here's my invite to Pamela. Feel the feeling of guilt. It doesn't mean anything.
Okay.
We're talking about feeling our feelings today, and a strong feeling of guilt comes up for you. Bam, first opportunity to put into practice what you're learning, to feel the feeling and let it pass through.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing. Anybody else? Whatever feeling you're sitting in, just let it be. Amy, were you going to share something?
Yeah, it's not a question. This is something that keeps coming back to me, and it's very reminiscent of all of this, of what we're talking about. I had a dream, it was a long time ago, but it keeps popping up into my mind. Many years ago, and it was just like a really simple dream. I was just treading water in the middle of an open ocean. There was no land in sight, no boats, just me alone on an ocean, and even the dream was like eye level. I was just watching all the waves, and it was, panic inducing. And I was just hanging out there, and it felt like the dream went on, and just like being tossed about and not sure what to do. And then in an instant, out of the blue, there was no thought behind it or anything. I just, it was like something clicked in my brain in the dream, and I just shot up out of the water like a superhero and flew. And that was the end of the dream. And it's one of these things that stuck with me in my life. And now that I've been coaching with you and been learning this understanding, it's like what you talk about, that an insight will come like that, and you just kind of drop. To me, the surface, the waves, and that, that panic is like that constant ongoing surface level of your mind.
Yeah.
And when that will just shift, and you're like, oh, you completely see a different way to do something. And for me in the dream, that was just like, oh, I can fly. Whoa, okay.
Yeah, that's beautiful. I love that. Yeah, it's great. Yeah, we really do see differently when our state of mind goes up. I talk a lot about the elevator of consciousness. As we go up the elevator of consciousness, we get access to more fresh ideas, fresh thought, fresh direction. But like Amy, suddenly realizing she could fly rather than floundering in the waves. Well, it's the same thing. It's like sometimes we get a really good sleep and our state of mind rises and we see things fresh and new and differently. Sometimes we get an insight because we're in a coaching call, or we're exploring truth more deeply. And again, our state of mind rises, the elevator of consciousness moves back up. Sometimes we're writing, and in our writing, we're writing out maybe the noise, and we get an insight. Suddenly something appears or occurs in the mind and is on the page that we hadn't considered. We are always subject to fresh thought. And the less we're resisting the feeling we're in, the easier it is for the elevator to rise and for us to get solutions, ideas, direction, divine mind support. We just do better. We just see better. We just know better. So unless there's another question or comment, then I'm going to leave it there for today on our first coaching clinic back in September. And I'll share with you that the clinic will take place every Tuesday. It's the same link every week. You're very welcome to share it with others, to share it with your groups, your communities. You're very welcome to share the replay. You're very welcome to write into me with a question you have that you'd like me to answer on the clinic, or a topic you'd like me to talk about. You're very welcome just to show up and just be here, saying nothing, but just getting that connection to your true self, to your deeper nature, that I believe will take you out into the rest of your week doing really, really well, operating from a place of wisdom rather than a place of tension, stress, upset, anxiety, and figuring out. So let's just finish with a couple of breaths. Take this breathing with you into your world, into your day, into your week. In through the nose, 2, 3, 4. And out through the nose or the mouth, 2, 3, 4. Don't forget your breath is on your side, built in, ready to help you. Spirit at work. Can bypass a really noisy, busy, sped up mind. And thank you for being here today, everybody. I'll see you next week. Bye. Amy, I'll see you tomorrow. Ciao.